everybody. Welcome to the Quest for Truth. I am your host, Corina Pataki, and I am excited to have my co-host here with me, Karen. Hey, Karen.
Well, hey, Corina, glad to be with you guys today. I'm excited to hear what Bianca's going to share today. And hey, guys, if you haven't done it yet, sign up for the Quest for Truth Patreon because Corina comes on once a month with you guys on the gold tier, and we're talking about Yahweh and the roots of where Yahweh came from. So if you haven't joined yet, you need to join in because we're having a great time over there. Lots of Revy. So back to you, Corina.
Yeah, wow. Well, you guys, I'm so excited to have with us this incredible voice of truth. This is our third time having Bianca Ruehlig here with us. Bianca, welcome, welcome. So glad that you are here. You're going to have a lot of stuff to share. So you guys sit down, put your seatbelt on, and get ready because Bianca is going to take us into a lot of truth. She's incredible. Not only is she a voice of truth, but she also has created CYMATONES, frequency, which are frequencies. She's going to talk about a little bit about that, regarding bringing healing to different parts of the body, the mind, the spirit, the soul. We're going to talk about crystals. We're going to talk about we're going to talk about fast food restaurants.
We're going to talk about hamburgers.
Fast food restaurants that bring burgers to us for free. I wonder why. So, Bianca, welcome. We're so thrilled that you are here with us. So take it over. Come kind of share with us your journey. I know you've done this with us before, but I know that you have sound frequencies that you talk about. So just kind of jump with us from there. How did you get into these things? How did you get into the frequencies that you've created, the different apps that you have, and the truth that you are just kind of blowing the trumpet on?
Thank you so much, you guys. I appreciate being here again. This is a platform where I can speak freely because a lot of talking about are underground. They're things that people either don't want to discuss or cannot talk about in fear of their family's opinions, their neighbors, their friends, even their spouses. Some of these ideas are outright crazy, and that is one of my warnings. I talk about a lot of things that are very realistic and about this earthly existence, but then what we're talking about are things that just seem like what you would find in a movie. I mean, we're going to be talking about The Simpsons and different movies that seem like they're becoming real, like from movie real to real life. So go back to CYMATONES real quick. CYMATONES is an app that I created, and that was, that's kind of what I regularly do, right? And then, and it's about frequencies. So I am very well versed in frequencies and vibrations, and I immerse myself in that every single day. And I'm continually learning about how it affects our water, our chakra energies, our emotions, our decision making. Everything is affected, our sleep patterns. So when I started, what sparked this was the fires in Hawaii. And, everything was everyone on TikTok and everyone on the different social media platforms. That's what they were sharing, right? So I started, I got drawn into it. I try to stay away from these things that are very prevalent in the news because I know that a lot of them are distractions. But this one really caught my attention. And I'm wearing this color for that very reason. So there were a couple, where they're zooming over the fire burn. I'm talking about the Hawaii fires. And it was very obvious that a couple colors were popping out. And that was the color blue. Blue things were like striking out from it. You couldn't ignore it. It was like a slap in the face. Like everything would be black and gray. And then all of a sudden you got 5 blue umbrellas. And then you have this burnt street. And then you got one blue car. Oh, I'm getting goosebumps just talking about it. I actually have done several videos because there's a blue boat. There's blue shirts that didn't burn. So the first couple of videos, I was like, well, is there something about the color blue that is fire resistant or something like that? But I think this is more clues. I mean, back to the show Blue's Clues. And I'm going to reference a lot of things on television because television is a means of them, the people that are doing this, to inform us so that they bypass karma. So one of the universal laws is that if you inform the audience of what you're going to do, then you kind of don't get the bad karma, because karma is a very real thing. Surgeon's warning on a cigarette. They're telling you it's very harmful. So they are not getting karma by selling it to you, right? So televisions, cartoons, movies, think of them as like hints to us, showing us what they're about to do. Also, a lot of it shows a lot of things in the past that just we are not aware about. We think it's a cartoon and, it's science fiction. So Blue's Clues, I watched a lot as a child when my child was growing up, and everything just kept showing, and it was a very specific blue. It's actually like a royal blue. And come to find, more things about blue roofs. And now there's like a military project called Project Blue or Operation Blue Roof, right? I think it's a FEMA project. And just a lot of these things that are coming up that did not line up. So why are these things, why are they showing up? One of the things that I want to talk about is why the blue things possibly didn't burn. And that's how we came upon talking about direct energy weapons, which are potentially the start of the fire. So again, referring to a show, we're going to talk about The Simpsons real quick. There's an episode of The Simpsons where there's the city catches on fire, and they're very, very prevalent blue statue covered in tarp in the middle of the city when they were doing their thing. And it looked like the blue colors that were shown in the fires. Like, you cannot ignore the coincidence, right? So I watched the show because I haven't had television in my house for 8 years now. So I have to go out of my way to find these things. So I went and saw the whole show, and the way it works in The Simpsons is that they were using the sun to retract onto that statue, and the statue emitted a laser that burnt the entire town, except for one of the stores that it was called Marty's Mirrors. A mirror reflected all the different lights, and it burned everything around it, everything. And it's just, come on, you guys, it's too much of a coincidence, right? So, which brings me to real quick about this special necklace that I'm wearing. This is black obsidian. Black obsidian is formed by melting rock. And you can melt rock with, remember the magnifying glass? And, you're trying to, I don't want to say, you don't want to hurt ants, but people were doing that. And you can take a large enough concave lens, reflective lens, like a satellite dish, and melt rock. Now, that is the thing that they were showing in The Simpsons. They were using that to create what, looks like a laser, because it's a mirror refracting light that was, all pointing to one spot. Therefore, it causes this, heat, intense heat. Think of a microwave. And this also came up, why are the cars burnt down and the houses, but the trees are there? Well, the trees have water in them. They're not metal. So if I put a piece of broccoli and a Hot Wheels car in my microwave, the Hot Wheels car is going to spark, and the broccoli is probably just gonna, warm up a little bit, which I am gonna do this experiment. I'm gonna find I'm gonna take a microwave outdoors and perform these things. Mm-hmm. So we went into, lasers, direct energy weapons. It's not something new. People refer to it as a do. And in my, as this is happening, I found that in Maui, so there's only 2 places in the world that has a direct energy weapon like facility. And one of them's in Maui. I mean, come on. So is this a test? Is this, whatever it is definitely not a natural wildfire. If you remember Paradise, California, that is very similar, where you've got houses and then you've got the trees or that all started. And that kind of, putting these all together is how I dig deeper. This is why I dig deeper. So I don't kind of jump into a lot of the things that I see, but there's too many things that just did not make sense. So we're kind of going into a lot of things, the direct energy weapons, which they showed exactly how it's done in The Simpsons. So now let's think about that real quick. So that machine, right, that refracted the sun energy. Let's think about lighthouses. And we're told that a lighthouse is used to give light. That's totally wrong. Okay. First off, the lighthouses have mercury all on the bottom. So that's how so there's some sort of magnetism being created with that.
Mhm.
Lighthouses are also red and white, which is depicting electricity or energy.
Yes.
And so a lighthouse is formed, it's got a very specific shape. If you have the sun hitting that lighthouse shape, you could create intense fiery heat, right? You could burn shit.
Yes.
And you'll find, if you look into the Renaissance era paintings, you'll find a lot of these paintings depicting, what is his name? There's someone that he got famous for it. I can't think of him right now. But he burnt ships. He had a battle where all he used was a mirror. He was just using a mirror.
Wow.
And that's how he, won the war. And so is there, how are these fires starting? Probably from something that is not from the ground. Now that I think about it, it may be coming from wherever that, facility is. And there's actually a website and videos about this. This is not something that is hidden. You've got to look for it. And then you've got to almost dig behind, not just read between the lines. You got to dig deeper. You got to just go beyond and think outside the box, because what you wouldn't think, oh, they wouldn't do this to us. People wouldn't just use lasers and burn an entire village down, would they? Yes, they do.
Yes.
And yes, they have. This is not the first. How many great fires have we had?
I agree.
Was that in what year was that? It's like, I don't know, 1800s? There were great fires, and they said a cow started a great fire.
Yes.
Oh, yeah, I have for all of those specifics, but if you really look at it, these great fires and followed by great earthquakes are they're too. And Tesla has come out before. Nikola Tesla has come out before with an earthquake machine, cloud machines. We have machines that create tornadoes. This is not something new. Weather modification, before we would call it geoengineering, and people didn't like that term. Now we call it cloud seeding. It sounds like it's helpful to the environment. No, we are seeding clouds with toxic chemicals that are affecting our body. So it is definitely not, beneficial at all. Uh-oh, it looks like you're hung up.
Wow.
Oh, there you go.
I think she's frozen. I'm not.
So I'm going to go ahead and keep going. So
keep going.
We went over the direct energy weapons. We went over the lasers. So this black obsidian, there's a guy that I follow on Instagram that uses, it's a concave lens. It's called a Fresnel lens. Fresnel, it looks like Fresnel, but
wow,
it's giant, like a projector sheet. Don't try this at home, kids, because this thing burns. I've used a smaller version. I've actually used clear quartz spheres and used that to create little fires. But again, this is technology that is not new. Nothing is new under the sun. This is technology that they've used, and they are, it's a little bit more high tech. And what do we do with all this information now that we know that this is happening? We've known this has been happening. Is there a way to shield ourselves from it? So what I've been doing is looking into ways to deflect from this event.
Yeah.
Can you shield yourself from a laser? Probably not. I mean, I don't know if I can, but laser is very directed light. What I can do is deflect my energy body, which is sound and frequency. And I'm going to go into this real quick.
Yes.
So this is our chakra body. Not a lot of people even know, or maybe not even believe in it, but it's there. Okay. These are energy centers. They are attached. They're not attached, but they are linked to different vital organs. So we're going to talk about blue here real quick, because blue is the topic. So the color blue, which happens to be frequency of 666.
Oh,
Nothing. And that's the video that became viral, was because I was like, that can't be a coincidence, you guys. So is blue something that's harmful, or is it something that's healing, that's protecting? Is it something that we can shield from? The laser is probably not blue. It's probably an opposing color. There's a color wheel that shows that orange and blue are opposite.
mm-hmm.
So we're using the sun's rays, which is going to be, orange, yellow fire, then that makes sense that we're deflecting it with blues.
Yes.
So blue is represented by the throat chakra. And the throat chakra, so these are energy centers that are linked to physical parts of the body and emotional parts of the body. Blue is our throat, which is our communication of truth. This is our truth. This is our truth right here. This is the word. Okay.
Wow.
Everything down here is just ego. All this other stuff, yeah, it's important. These chakras are good. We need courage. We need motivation. We need grounding, and we need love. But when it gets to the throat chakra, the power of the word and your truth and your expression of it, that's where things really change. And this is where we as a people can make a difference. And that's what we're doing now. So I think this is an attack on, not just potentially trying to get some special minerals that I'm learning about, lithium. Lithium, by the way, there's a lot of it in Hawaii. And it's what fuels all of our devices. So we've got the color blue that is, about truth. All of this, we're learning about truth. We're trying to find the truth. Why is this happening? What can we do to shield ourselves from it, to protect our energy? Because our energy, we're made of magnetism, and our magnetic field is affected by the sounds and the lasers and even the emotions of the stories that we're hearing on videos. And I think all of this is about, harvesting negative energy.
Yeah, that's interesting, Bianca, because you said that's the throat chakra. So is there like an agenda to keep people from speaking out on truth? Because it's not going to work because it's blue.
Well, let's see. We may have some sort of new mask mandates coming up. I mean, that is the number one thing. This is how you support. That's how you suppress truth. I can't speak no truth. So yeah, absolutely.
Wow.
Is about living and speaking and being your truth. We can't just take photos anymore.
Right.
We can't take a photo. We can't just take a photo of us donating our clothes and like, hey, I'm good. Or take a photo of me eating mangoes. Hey, I'm good. Hey, guess what? I've got a cinnamon roll here down too. So it's like, we've got to actually be the goodness that we want in this world. That's what this is. It's literally a fight of good versus evil. And we must be the good. We must fight the good with our good. Because whoever said fight fire with fire is not a firefighter, I bet you. Okay, you don't do that. I'm not a firefighter, but I would never do that. So I would fight fire with earth or water, right? Dirt or water. And I've always thought that to be a little fishy. So when you come across certain things, you've got to stick to your truth, stick to your path. You've got to ignore distractions, and the lower three, these are ego centers, are the things that are pulling us, that are making us want to do things that we know are not better for our health. Emotional, mental, spiritual. I think we all inherently know what's good for us. So
wow, that's awesome. Hey guys, I'm trying to get her back in. They had a power outage at her house. So
interesting. So we were supposed to record this last week. And
yes.
Had the outage at my house.
Wow.
Is this planned?
You do have to ask, don't you?
Well, I want to jump into. Do you mind if we talk about the burger thing real quick?
No, I want you to talk about the burger.
Talking about the power outage, and you just reminded me. So there's this thing. Okay, so here's something. This is another Simpsons episode. So in the Simpsons episode, they had they were giving away free burgers, and it was called Burger Squared. And if you ate a burger, you became a zombie. You ate the other people and you ate yourself. So did you know that Wendy's burgers are square?
Yes. And I'm going to say, that was my very first job, and the burgers there were square, but we made them square. I don't know what they're doing now, but they actually took the meat and put them in a machine and pressed them to make them square.
So, yes. And it's might to do with, better, transfer of heat, cooking, whatever. But they're square, and the cartoon shows burger squared. And then yesterday, Wendy's, along with a few other fast food places, was giving away all of these crazy deals. I picked one up. I got McDonald's, which I never do. Okay, this is not supporting McDonald's. So McDonald's had the double cheeseburger on sale for 50 cents, and Wendy's burgers are free with purchase. So I'm going to just share with you what I'm doing with this, right? So I opened it yesterday, and first off, gosh, it doesn't even look like a burger. But what I did was I took a little chunk, and I'm looking at it under the microscope. I'm scared to open this. I'm actually concerned that there might be something moving in here. Oh my gosh, this doesn't look real. I don't know if you can see that. It's still got the onions on it. I mean, it looks exactly like how I had it yesterday. So I'm actually going to leave it out and see how long. I've seen some shows where, they do 2 years later. Excuse me.
Oh, yeah. They were intact too. Don't let your dogs get it.
Right? 7 of them. So I've got this little chunk pieced out, and I put it under the microscope. Now I need to get another part. Oh, that smells bad. I need to close that. I need to get another part of the microscope so that my audience can see, because I was able to see, but when I put the camera up, it's very hard to see. So I'm picking that up today. But what I saw were fibers, like red fibers. It wasn't like human hair. It was red. There was a little bit of white. It looked just kind of like it was like a mold almost. It was disgusting. So I'm very excited to show everyone how disgusting it looks. And we'll be able to zoom in more. Now, what's the purpose? People are asking, what's the point of this, right? I'm not going to be able to determine what meat that is by looking at it. I can tell you right now that it's not 100% animal. It's not 100% whatever they're saying. There's been videos in the past of a rabbi speaking of this food being bodies of children. They talk about, how do you think we dispose of the bodies? They don't want the bodies. They just want the blood. They just want the energy of the blood, because that's the blood is what gives us life force.
Yes.
And I want to talk about Beyonce's concert, because that's a life force harvesting event.
Yes.
This era, where she asked everyone to wear chrome and silver. So everyone was wearing chrome and silver to her event. And what that does, it reflects. So she was harvesting. It was definitely some sort of spiritual. It was a ritual of some sort. People don't realize it. I don't know how many people are awake.
Yeah.
People say 99% are still asleep. I think there's more of us now.
I believe it.
Still more of us than there are of them. So, there's still millions of people going to these events.
Yeah. And was it her concert, and what's the other name? Her name just went out of my head. She came out as a country star, and now what's her name? The blonde.
Taylor Swift.
Her. Again, they were like on the news, they were saying that people have been complaining that both her concert and Beyonce's concert, they are losing track of time.
Yes. They are. There's something energetically happening. You're talking about loud booming sounds you're talking about lights, you're talking about mantras.
Yes.
Hey, put your hands in the air. Now give me your energy. I mean, really? Oh, I just got goosebumps saying that.
Yeah, I agree.
That people don't realize. Remember in the Bible, that's how you heal people, with your hands. Now you're leaving it in the air like you don't care. I mean, let's just really analyze, what are we doing? And that's the problem with society.
Yep.
People are, half of the adults are drunk. And I'm not talking about like drunk when they're drinking, because when you're done drinking, your brain is still not sober. You are still parasitic. You still have parasites of negative spirits and entities in your body. So the entire nation, it's like, it is definitely a spiritual war. That's why alcohol is promoted. That's why you've got all these events that are promoted that are supported with alcohol. You know, it's not just dumbing down America and making America overweight and unhealthy. It is extracting the life force of this planet.
Because they need it.
There's a term for that. It's actually called loosh. And not heard of it. LOOSH. This is energy that your body, this body has a magnetic field. Okay, it's always moving, and it's if you are depressed or angry or scared, you watch scary movies and you're frightened, or any of those types of energies, you're emitting dark loosh, and it is very gross, just very dark. And that's what these entities, that is the evil that we are fighting. We must fight our light. Our light, which is love and truth and expression, and that's what it is. That is what it is. We must all do our part.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
Corina, I wanted to point this out. You brought up Taylor Swift.
Yeah.
There's been a lot of things out there, and I've looked it up about, she is looks very much like Anton LaVey's daughter.
Identical.
I don't know. Yeah.
That's
yeah. Oh. It was the daughter of the satanic.
Yep.
Correct.
Yep. Zena LaVey.
She looks identical.
And let me give you just a crazy explanation on that. You take a hard drive or your computer, you take your software, you put your data in there. When the computer dies, you take your drive, you put in a better computer, you still got your data, right?
Yeah.
What are we doing? So let's go back to that loosh. What do you think they're doing with that? We're batteries. Monsters Inc. They were draining fear from the children, when in fact it was actually so in the end it was laughter was stronger energy. But the premise of that is you can take this energy from people. That's what this loosh is. And what are they doing with it? Maybe think about it. It's life force. Yes, and it's not Taylor Swift. You've got a lot of people that look like all these other people of the past. And, it's almost vampiric. Very strange. I don't watch a lot of shows, but I started watching a new show last night called Interview with the Vampire. Not the movie, but I guess there's a whole series.
Oh.
And yeah, I didn't know about it. But when I'm drawn to watching something, it's because there's a reason for it.
Correct. Yes.
So yes. I think this definitely is vampiric. This is harvesting our life, maybe not physical blood, but our energetic blood, which is, what creates our physical blood anyway. So yeah, it is. It's about how do we spend our time and our energy? How are we using our life?
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, I personally do not, I think this is the biggest war on humanity in modern day history. I mean, you look at it, the war is absolutely crazy. Like you were saying, for them to harvest the very essence of who we are through so many things. Like you said, you were talking about the hamburgers, the food, the medicine, the health system, the control, through the brain, the body. I mean, absorbing everything we absorb from the air that we breathe, from the water that we drink, from the food that we take, from the crap that they put in our bodies.
And may I add one thing to that, that
Yeah.
I'm just into? We need an ingredient list for our clothing.
Correct.
Our clothing is poisoning us, something that we must do, right? And I'm going through all of my clothes as well, because you know that is on our skin, and our skin is porous to our very essence. So you named all of that, and it's about everything that we need, the necessities. So it's almost like we really need to look at what is necessary. Is it necessary for me to have these things? As I go through my awakening, I'm learning that I need less and less.
Yeah.
There's certain things that it's a process. Nothing is static in this existence. All we are is energy. In fact, our world, we don't change the world we are in. We are going into a different parallel universe world. So when you've changed your way of thinking, you change your way of living. And which is why one of the things I need to steer my TikTok and my audiences to is the healing part of this. I bring awareness about frequencies and how we can be attacked by all of these things, but I don't want to just bring up fear. There is a solution.
Yes.
It is sounds, it is nature, it is exercise, it is nutrition, it is community, it is nurturing. So we can counter this war. We are in a war, but we must be actually doing the things that we can counter it. And people just don't realize how to counter it. You can counter it by planting some food that you can eat in your backyard. So there's just a lot of different things that each and every one of us can do.
So there are solutions. So for the our beautiful audience, the ones watching, our point here in our quest for truth, as we bring these incredible voices of truth from around the world, it's not to bring fear. It's to bring an awareness to kind of shake us up out of that sleep, out of that amnesia. And when you wake up, then to present to you that there are solutions, there are strategies, there are things that we can do. So Bianca, before I finish my point, it's interesting because my power in the whole house went off for a second. That's why I was off the screen, literally for a second. So that's why and that's when you were talking about this, the direct energy weapon. So very interesting there. Bianca, you have some solutions that you yourself have been have created, and also are working with other solutions that you saw that they work, and you have had some great testimonies from people. So share with us some of those solutions.
Yes. So one of the things I want to share, and this is not something new. See the back of my phone has a blue crystal and a white crystal. So this is shungite. This is selenite. Now let's talk about shungite specifically. That's the one I talk about almost every single day. I've got several videos on it. Shungite is a carbon-based material, okay? It's a carbon-based mineral with hydrogen, with a little bit of gypsum, a little bit of pyrite, but it clears the water. It has been used for thousands of years. You put it in a gallon of water and you leave it overnight. Think of it like copper water. Copper does something different. Silver, iron, all of these minerals, we're made of minerals. We're actually made of all those minerals, right? So what shungite does is not only is it grounding, meaning it removes like electrostatic buildup, it livens the energy, or the water. It puts back that light. So with this, not only do I have it on my phones and all over the house, with my devices that I sell, I put a shungite on every single piece. When I send out a phone, it's got a shungite sticker on it. I didn't grab it right now though, but I also created a drinking bottle that is based off of the knowledge of shungite and Dr. Emoto's structured water.
Oh, yeah.
So structured water, just real quick, we have liquid water, we got frozen water, which is ice, we got gas, which is steam, But there's a fourth phase called crystalline, and that's what's inside our body. It's H3O2. So you can get that in fruit. This mango, this is the best water for my body. I drink, and I told my son this earlier. He was like, "What, Mom?" I drink 1 cup of water every 2 days. That's it. That's it. I drink tea, which has water, and I eat fruits. This is structured water. Now, when I do drink water, it goes through my shungite shape. It's basically it's meant to mimic natural flow of water. And when it goes through these different things like this, it's livening it up versus sitting on a shelf for months at a time in a plastic bottle. So it goes through the shungite, and then it goes through a spiral. This is the natural vortex spiral action of life. And so I read a lot. And one of the books I'm reading about, it wasn't Dr. Emoto's book, but another book on water, specifically said that it was the spiral that would rehydrating the energy, re-energizing the water. And then the bottom of the glass says love and gratitude. Because when I see that, my conscious mind, maybe I'm angry, maybe I'm, sad, maybe whatever, or maybe I am happy. Doesn't matter what my conscious mind thinks. My subconscious, which runs 95% of this world, understands love and gratitude. So when my subconscious sees it, it starts making that change in my body, in the water. I set my intentions. Always pray to your water. Your water is listening. Water, rain. When it rains, it's a rain like REIGN, the rain. It is this energy that can change your internal and external. So people just don't realize the power of water. I mean, we're breathing in a type of water. So water is above and water is below. Everything is water. Everything is water. And what else is everything? What else is omnipresent? So it really, I've told people that I think water is God and that mother is nature, right? Mm-hmm. Mother nature and water God. So
this is powerful. Bianca, really fast, since I was kind of kicked off, did you mention, going back to Maui really fast, and then Karen, if you have some questions, did you mention regarding Maui, the shape of the island and where these direct energy weapons were hitting?
We did not hit on that, but oh my gosh, that's one of my favorite topics.
Go for it.
We're talking about petrified titans.
Yes.
We're talking about go way beyond. Now, giants were mentioned in the Bible. David and Goliath talk about that. So the shape of Maui is, if you look at it, it's shaped like a person laying on its side. And it was attacked in the crown chakra and in the heart chakra. The heart and the crown. That is, I believe Kauai is the wettest place on earth, right? And one of the things I've read up before, and I can't recall my reference on this, is that's because every soul must travel through there to manifest their life here. Because that's what we are. We're water. We literally live in water before we come out, right?
Yes.
So physically breathe water before we breathe what we refer to as oxygen, which is just another compilation of water. So Hawaii was attacked in the heart and the crown. The entire earth. So, and what's believed about, I think there's a movie Moana, which I haven't seen yet. I must see that. Moana is about a giant that became land. And if you start looking into this, gosh, I don't want to call it a conspiracy. It's a Tartarian history. And you'll start noticing a lot of different structures are not what we were told. Mountain ranges and waterfalls, even these, giant pillars. They're not pillars, they're giant trees. So the world is not what we were told. And Hawaii was attacked in the crown chakra and the heart chakra. And it's also, I think Hawaii is, so the earth has all the different chakras, just like we have chakras. So Hawaii, I believe, is the soul star chakra, which is not on our body. The soul star chakra is the 8th chakra. It's over your crown chakra. It resides a foot over your head. So put your hand up where your fingertips are. You're touching your soul star. And then you have an earth chakra, which is 1 foot below your feet. So you think of yourself, you've got like this battery, and the soul star chakra is what was attacked. Gosh, you know what? Are they trying to prevent new souls from coming in? I mean, why else would you attack that place? I haven't thought of this portion, but that's such an important part of this whole thing. Again, this is a spiritual war. It's an attack on our planet, our earth, our humanity. Oh, I think you're on. Can't hear you. I'm not able to hear you. Did something happen? That's weird.
Can you hear me? Can you hear me now?
Yes.
Wow. Wow. We've had some interesting stuff happening with our recording today.
Yes. Brings me real quick, and again, not based on fear, but I'm preparing for an EMP attack. I'm preparing for a total grid power outage. Again, not based on fear, but I want to be prepared. Let's talk about COVID. If I was prepared, I would have stocked up on toilet paper and water. You know what I mean? That's everybody. I don't know why everybody bought that out, but if I had known, that's what I would have done.
Bianca, is that the October 4th that you wanted that we were talking about? Or does that go?
October 4th, we have not talked about that yet.
Okay.
October 4th is, and this is on, I can't remember whose website it is, but it's on a government website that they are planning an emergency alert. An emergency alert is, the purpose of this is so that the president has access to communicate to the nation within 10 minutes of a nationwide,
disaster.
Disaster. Well, that you'd think that it would only be for disasters, but it could be used for anything, I would think.
Yes.
So, interestingly enough, the owner, the people that own the corporation that runs the Amber Alert system, which is the same as all of these, guess who?
Oh, come on, say it.
Sister of Ghislaine Maxwell.
Stop.
The freaking island. Oh my gosh. I'm not there because I just can't right now. But yeah. So the Amber Alert system, the corporation that runs all of the Amber Alerts for missing children are linked to Epstein's Island. How crazy is this?
Oh my God.
Wow.
Like I said, we're living in a movie with the most plot twists I've ever seen. This is the best movie.
Wow.
I mean, it's just crazy, right? So back to October 4th. So they're running this test. Now on their website, it says 30 minutes. They're going to be running a 30-minute test. And I don't know if they're going to play something for 30 minutes because that's very disruptive to everyone. People are going to be in school. This is going to be at 2:20 Eastern, or so it's going to be 11:20 my time. So 11:20 Pacific time.
Okay.
So I'm, I have EMF shielding material that I'm going to be using on every single device in the house. I've already warned my teenager. I'm like, we're not going to be playing video games. There's not going to be any phone usage. But I am going to listen to it. I'm going to record the tone. And here's why, because I can create a countertone for it. That's how Rife frequencies work. So Dr. Raymond Royal Rife, way back, right? He was the original guy that made 5 microscopes that the government, by the way, has since taken.
Mm-hmm.
The best microscopes that could see the frequencies affecting, like super billionths of however they're getting, being able to see that. So he is the basis of the frequencies. Now I'm going to show you real quick. I know I'm kind of jumping here. This is one of the, oh wait, that's the wrong one. So I this app that See how every time I speak, it's moving?
Yes.
And it's showing, so it's an audio app, and it's showing me the frequency that it's referenced. It's using the speaker to deduce what frequency I'm at. Right now, people are going to say, how accurate is that? I mean, it may not be 100%, but it is pretty darn close. It's closer to me trying to guess, right? So I used this while listening to the examples that I've seen on YouTube. Now, here's the thing, though.
Where'd you get that, Bianca?
Oh, this was on the App Store, and it was free. It's called Sonic Tools.
Oh.
It's a free app called Sonic Tools. And I was using that while listening to the emergency alert system that has been previously published.
Okay.
Now, this alert that's coming up is not going to sound like, I don't think it's going to be like that. I think the beginning is going to be similar, but I think the whole thing's going to be different. At the bottom, it shows that it's going to be supported by tones and vibrations. That's literally what I do. Tones and vibrations. The reason why you have vibrations is, and people are saying, oh, well, maybe it's because of disabled, if you can't hear, or, that you feel it. Yes, that could be the case, but I doubt it. Okay. I doubt that the government's thinking that. The vibrations speed up the efficiency of the sounds. The vibration is adding a vibration to our space. So it is creating that like chaos. It's a chaotic energy. Playing anything that is chaotic. So let me go to this app. This one's called Cladme. Okay, so every time I speak, see how it does?
Yes.
So this representation of the sound waves as light. This is what's happening in our body when you're listening to me, or when you're listening to whatever. Incredible. So this is Cladme is a doctor. Well, he wasn't a doctor at first. He was actually a musician. He is the basis of what's called the Cladme plate, where you have sand on a metal plate, and then you play a song, and then you see the different structures. That first came up with that. So I actually have a Cladme device, and it's really neat. It just makes a mess. I'm going to be using it today, though. So you put sand on it, and you play different frequencies, and it shows different structures. So when I was playing this while listening to the emergency alert system, it was chaos. It's chaotic frequencies. Now, I played it on my video for maybe a minute, and people were like, oh, you're harming us. Yeah, for that minute I was. But it doesn't stick, because it takes about 5 to 6 minutes for your body to remember the sound, to resonate to that frequency. If I play something for you for 7 minutes straight, that emergency alert system, you might have a migraine, you might even throw up, gut problems, it's all of that. You're going to be off, because again, we're not physical, we're magnetic. Our magnetic body is comprised of the vital essences of our, that makes up our actual composition, and the emotions of our energy. So that's the magnetic body that's affected by sound. So if you listen to something for 7 minutes or longer that's chaotic, it's absolutely going to be harmful. I'm going to have several series of videos that are free, and I'm going to post these videos. I'm also going to put them on my podcast, which you can download for free, that are specific to restructuring the energy body, restructuring the etheric body. It is on my app, which most, I create certain sounds that are totally free and put them on my podcast because they're necessary. Yeah. I've got the detox tones on there. I've got one for lymphatic cleanse. I've got the full chakras. So on my podcast, I have frequency sets that are pretty long. They're like an hour long, and you can download it. So you do not need to have your Wi-Fi on. I would not recommend leaving the phone on during that time. I don't know what's going to happen. I don't know if it's going to play for 30 minutes. Anything playing for any amount of time, I would, like I said, I'm going to listen to it because I'm shielded. I've got a lot of things around me.
Yeah.
I also have the sound machine that I'm going to play right afterwards. But the reason I'm going to listen to it is I'm going to document it. I have something called the Aura Cloud. It is a hand sensor, and I put my hand on it, and I can visualize I can see my aura. Now it's a visual representation of color. So I'm going to bring that home today and do a couple tests first, because it's over at my crystal shop, because I do aura, that's something that I do over there. But now I'm going to be watching my aura as I'm listening to chaotic frequencies.
Oh,
I think
wow.
it's great. I'm super excited, actually. So, and it's interesting that every single nation, I believe, has a different emergency alert system sound. So as far as what to do during that day, I would not be plugged in. I would have either shungite or black tourmaline or whatever crystals you've got. If you don't have crystals, copper would probably be good. Stainless steel is very, they say Superman,
Yes.
man of steel. There's a lot to steel that we have not been told.
Right.
So just being, really, I would be unplugged that day. I don't know if that's linked to this free burger thing, because if the burgers that they're giving away has nanotechnology, well,
Right.
nano can be activated with frequencies.
Oh boy.
So I'm actually going to take the fibers that I'm finding from the burger and zapping it with my acupuncture pen and playing some free, just to see, and playing with magnets. There's a lot of different things I can do. Yeah.
You're gonna put out the results, right?
Oh yeah. Oh yeah. I mean, I'm doing this because I'm like interested. I'm not a scientist. I don't really even believe in science. I think science is kind of just more theoretical. It's like a bunch of theories. The problem with science is the scientists don't want to change the book.
Correct.
They change the books.
Correct.
It's so much money.
Yeah.
So,
and they control the narrative, and they're going to jump however the ones on top of them, above them, will say to jump. So do we really have the real science, which from what my little understanding from what I've studied, no, we don't. Do we have the right history of our humanity?
No,
Heck no, we don't.
Science is very limiting.
Absolutely.
And history is meant to redirect.
Correct.
So where we all came from, we all probably came from cabbage patches. I mean, that's another.
We are Cabbage Patch Kids.
Think about where do all the orphan trains come from? Where do all the orphans come from? Those trains. We can't even go there.
I know what you're talking about, because I saw a video that you posted. So yeah. Now, Bianca, you really wanted to talk about this other thing, the EMF, right? What the other subject that you really wanted to talk about before we talked about the October the 4th? You think that there's going to be a release of, they're going to mess with the grid?
The EMP.
I'm sorry, EMP. Yes. Yes.
We were also talking about EMF. So I was like, wait.
Yes.
I think so. Right now, there's an outage in Vegas, right? There's currently a Las Vegas outage, 5 days now, where they're unable to use ATMs and the room key. So any electronics. Now, first off, Sin City, 100%. The reason why there's no water in that place is there's supposed to be no life in that place.
Right.
So right now there's some flooding. It's just some crazy stuff going on, but they're under cyber attack. Now, Sin City being probably hosting a lot of, I don't want to, let me see, how can I say this? Escort services, right? And there's going to be a lot of trafficking involved with that. And there's also a whole bunch of hotel chains being investigated right now for being part of trafficking. So you've got the hotel chains that are shutting down because of all this trafficking. You got Vegas, which is 4 days. They're saying it's some sort of hoax money thing. I think it's a cyber attack test. I think they wanted to see, Vegas lives off of electronics. That's like the electronic city. So if you were to test some sort of, EMP attack, I would do it there, not some city that doesn't use it that much. So as far as, do I think it's going to happen? I mean, what else hasn't happened?
Yeah, right.
It's almost so crazy that it's like, what else?
Maybe tied into 5G too.
Yes. 5G and 5G again it's frequencies. So a lot of people are saying, I just posted something about Starlink this morning because there was a vision. They were seeing Starlink lights in the sky in my neighborhood, and then there was an earthquake.
Oh,
just last night. And I try not to come out too much in my own local community because I don't want to be the crazy neighbor.
right.
But I'm ready. So what? Oh well, who cares? So I did it anyway, and I said, "You guys, that's not Starlink. That is not fast internet. All of our internet travels on internet cables underground. The only thing that's above is, first off, our electrical poles, because electricity is harvested in the air. So that's why they're high. People are like, we can't make electrical things in the ground. They have to be harvested in the air. Now the things in the sky probably going to it's liquid crystal, and liquid crystal, like glitter, right? Glitter. Liquid crystal is what's in your liquid crystal display LCD screen. Imagine if the entire sky was a giant monitor, a giant LCD screen. What could they show up there? Everything. You'd be scared. You would see either a religious deity, some monster, some alien invasion. We don't know. Comets.
Yeah.
We once the sky has been altered, that is probably going to be one of the biggest things, because we're all under it. So
yeah, and that's what they're trying to do if they have not already done it.
Yes, I think that the Starlink thing we're seeing, I think they're activating those different connections.
Put all your cell phones and computers in your ovens, people.
Yeah.
Your Faraday cage.
Yeah. So I heard that the microwave is a Faraday cage, but then someone said it's only the commercial oven that's a Faraday cage. So I don't know. I'm going to test this out. I also have the EMF shielding material. They're very expensive. I found I'm receiving the material this week, but I need to test it first to see if it's real, because I got a good price. So I need to test it. Make sure. I've got a couple things that I can use to test it. But once I do that, the other thing is, I was just thinking about this. I don't want to shield my phone. I don't care about my phone. The phone is just a means to get to me.
Correct.
My pineal gland and my heart is the target.
Yep.
Yeah. The target is not to mess my phone up. It's to mess up me.
Correct.
So this is the messenger. Our mobile devices are going to be used to deliver this frequency. So I'm going to be making a hat. I don't know.
I have something.
Speaking of that,
I have something to share. Speaking of the hats, there it is.
Yes. I saw that, and you know what? That shape versus the pyramid, instead of like a tinfoil hat that's pyramid. When you do a pyramid shape, you're actually sending your energy out. When you do a dome shape, remember the bowler caps? Isn't it called bowler caps? I don't know. Maybe they were called something else. But, why did a bunch of people wear top hats back in the day?
Oh.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Victorian era. Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Kind of weird, right? It's kind of, it's a lot of different things that make me,
Yeah.
But
here's her drink, her spiral with her shungite too. I wanted everybody to see it.
Oh yes, please.
Over here on the left, if you guys can see it.
Oh, I don't see it.
No.
Oh, hold on. Let me see if I can
see the hat, the blue.
I'll have to. Yeah, I know. I was like, wow, she's got a hat on her site.
I'm very serious about this hat. I mean, I already have one that I use, but I wanted to see if I can get it produced, or have people make it themselves. It doesn't need to be a nice looking hat.
Right. It needs to protect you.
It needs to cover your brain and your heart.
Yeah. Yeah.
And maybe your gut. Yeah, there it is. So this one
beautiful.
can have the love and gratitude on the bottom part. but you see the shungite up on top. So when you're putting that in, just a few rocks, it's already, once it touches, that's how water is so amazing. Water is the easiest programmable crystal. Okay, so water is a crystal.
Yes, it is.
I want to
Yes.
say crystal, but water is the easiest programmable matter. And as soon as it touches that shungite, it's programmed to shungite. It's receiving the energy of shungite. And then so it goes through kind of like the different, it's actually, there's probably going to be about double the amount of stones because this was a first run. But yeah, that's the final product. I've been using it for my tea, and because I don't drink too much water. I drink water when, you know, with my tea, but there's no taste difference, but I am going to do several tests on it. I'm going to do a heavy metal test on my water, an alkalinity test, and what was another test? Oh, I was going to freeze the water and check the structure before now. Yeah, but you know, you don't need this. I mean, yeah, of course I want people to buy it, but you can make your own. You can also swirl your glass before you drink it and set your intention. Think about those things. I put both hands to my drinking vessel. I actually put it over my head and say something and visualize in the water, and so it shall. We are the power. We are the word that created everything. We just need to use it. And these are
so powerful.
These are tools that I made to make it easy, you know, easier for me, you know. And when it's something that's easier for me, more efficient, and I think it helps other people.
Yeah, absolutely. So you've created a lot of different frequencies. Just really fast, Bianca, we're going to have your information. So we're going to put Bianca's information, but what are some of the tools that you have created that people can just kind of hear about and go check it out?
Well, everything is on my website called CYMATONES. So it's cymatones.com. And one of the things that I'm going to go ahead and share, and it's an app. It's called CYMATONES, and it's the frequencies. These are not single tones. These are resonant frequencies. So each set that you listen to, there's 5 sounds. We are made of five materials according to traditional Chinese medicine. You've got metal, wood, earth, fire, and water. And all of these have to contribute to every part of your body. When you were being formed of sounds and these different things. So the sounds that you hear, so I've got an app where I also have a website because the app is only for Android and I have a lot of iPhone users. So here, I'm just going to share with you real quick. I'm going to have you hear it. Oops, try Face ID. Here we go. Oh, I want to talk about Face ID real quick.
Yeah.
Yesterday, I'm going to make a video of this. So I was driving, and I shouldn't do this, right? I was driving and trying to do Face ID, and it wouldn't work, even though my face was there. So it's not Face ID. It's eye recognition. It is, try it. So when I did my bank thing, I was looking right here, but I looked to the left slightly. It would not recognize my face. So is it eyeball tracking? Are we already doing the eyeball tracking?
I don't know. She's right, because I did it the other day.
I'm testing it now.
Well, no, because I've got blue blocking glasses on. Okay. And I tried to do it and it won't do it. And when I go like this, it worked.
Great.
But it won't work if you're not looking directly in the phone.
Mm-hmm.
So it's not facial recognition. It's eyeball, which is our eyeballs and our tongue and our fingerprints are what makes it unique. Is that crazy?
That is absolutely incredible.
Yeah. And that was realization yesterday. So here is just a quick example of the app. So there's currently 350 frequency sets on here that you can hear and listen to. Let's go to Aura while we're talking about all this. Here's one called Etheric Body. This is what I would listen to shield from. Can you hear that?
Yep.
So, and what I'm doing is you're listening to it from my phone over a stream. So it sounds a little different, but when you're listening it to directly, it is almost like you're sitting here with my machine. They don't make this machine anymore. Over 2 decades, it's an FDA regulated device that they stopped producing. Of course, right? It was working too well, And of course, me, I took all the sounds. I worked with an audio, someone that knows about sounds, microphones, speaker, how to create these recordings. I sourced it so that he could create these digital versions for me, so that they were clear, that they matched frequencies, everything. And there's 800 that I have. I've only got 350 on the app so far, but you go to CYMATONES.com. That's where you can either download the app or you can subscribe to a month-to-month. You can just subscribe for a month if you need to, you know. The other thing that's on there, I also have a podcast, the only thing on my podcast are frequencies. They're frequency downloads. You can go on there and download a whole chakra set, play it on loop every night. There's, I believe, 12 sets on there, and I'm going to be adding one for this etheric body. For this, I'm going to call it the October 4th. The last time I did one good. The last time I created a special one was one for the train derailments.
Wow.
For clear.
Oh yeah. Oh. Wow. This is so incredible. Karen, do you have any questions before we let Bianca go and we switch on to the other?
No, let's save it for the Patreon members.
Wow. Well, Bianca, thank you so much for being with us. This has been incredible. You guys, I hope you've enjoyed this. I know you've enjoyed this. Again, this is not for fear. This is just to bring an awakening and a knowledge regarding the truth of what's happening, and then to prepare ourselves. There are many ways, and Bianca mentioned quite a few of them, that you and we can prepare ourselves and shield ourselves from what they are intending and wanting and really have been doing. So we will have all of it, Bianca's information. Thank you guys for watching. We're excited that we are awakening. We are taking back our rightful place. We are remembering who we are and walking in the fullness of our blueprint. Until next time, we love you guys. See you later. Bye-bye.